Good afternoon. My name is Ron Andrews, and welcome to my gallery show. I'm going to be talking this afternoon about some of the pictures in my gallery. I'll review several pictures that are in my bestsellers category. I'll discuss some of the options available for getting prints and merchandise with images printed on them. Many of the options are available from the gallery. I'll talk about some do-it-yourself options for the thrifty at heart, as well as some custom framing options if you want to go high end. Then I'll have a brief tutorial about how to navigate the website. It has lots and lots of options. It gets complicated. It took me a little while to figure it out. I'll try to relieve that. Later on, I'll tell you about some special discounts that are going to be available now through Sunday at midnight. And I hope we get into some discussions about what kind of pictures participants like. What do you really like? What would you like to see? So start in, I'm going to share the screen here. Okay, so now I need to get to the website. Welcome to my art gallery. And if you go to RAndrewsPhotosGalleryShow.com, normally you will be taken directly to the bestsellers gallery. You can, if you go to the shop art, that will bring you to a list of galleries. There are the bestsellers, landscapes, sky is sunsets as well as nighttime, wildlife, all, obviously includes everything, abstract, upstate New York for my friends in this area, and missing from this list at the moment is flowers, and you can get there by going through this menu and getting the flowers. For some reason, it's not showing up on this page, and I will take care of that in the next day or so. So let's go to the bestsellers, and we'll look at the first 8 or 9 pictures in that gallery. When I call this bestsellers gallery, I got to explain a little bit about this. It's I haven't been doing this long enough to really have a good sales record to know which ones are truly bestsellers. These are pictures that have sold, some of them to me. That's great. Declined. Sorry about that. I'll click to enlarge this one. This is, anybody who's been there recognizes it. This is the Yosemite Valley. This is the view that you are treated with as you exit from the tunnel as you enter Yosemite Valley. And on more than one occasion, I've been in the car when more than one person exclaims, "Oh my God, we got to stop and look at this." It is one of the most stunning pieces of scenery in the nation. Got El Capitan over on the left with 4,000 feet of near vertical rock. Got Bridal Veil Falls over on the right side, and you've got Half Dome off in the distance. One of my, as I say, one of my favorite pieces of landscape. Now, we could go back out to the gallery and click on the next picture, or I can just click on the next image here. And these other photos that are popping up, they rotate. This is Landscape Arch at Arches National Park. And this is Capitol Reef National Park. Here's the Bay Bridge across San Francisco Bay. And here is the lower falls of the Genesee River in Rochester. Famous for its rainbows. It generates spray when the water's high, and on a sunny day, you get rainbows. And then this was looking out into Lake Ontario from Durand Eastman Park from a drone. So those are, that's just a cycling banner on the top of the page. This is the next picture in the gallery. And I need to give credit to my son Scott for taking this picture. This was sometime in the 1990s, taken on film, obviously. A doe dropped her fawn under the apple tree in her backyard. It's not uncommon for a doe to leave the fawn and basically take care of herself for a day and then come back and retrieve her newborn and go off together. Fawns seem to know well enough to stay put. They don't have any odor and they don't attract any predators. And people who see a young newborn under a tree thinking it's been abandoned, stay away. They're going to be fine. Mom's going to return. It'll be okay. My son grabbed my camera with a telephoto lens and took a few shots. And he had the good sense to use the telephoto lens and not get too close. I think this is a beautiful shot. Next image. I do have to say, I wish this website ran a little faster. This part's out of my control. I make the suggestions, but I don't have control over this part. Another wildlife photo. This is obviously a giraffe. I'd love to be able to tell you about the safari I took in Kenya. But this safari was a little closer to home. In fact, it's Disney's Animal Kingdom in Orlando. A lot easier to get to, and you still see a lot of wild animals and some of them up pretty close. So the next image is actually a picture of the same giraffe, a little bit longer view. So let's skip on to the next picture. More wildlife. I've gotten a lot of favorable comments on wildlife photos. Red-tailed hawk. He was circling above the Colgate Rochester Divinity School, not far from here. There are a lot of red-tailed hawks in the area. I see them frequently on light posts along the expressway. I can always tell, I know when to look for them when I see a lack of pigeons on the light posts where normally there are large numbers. If there aren't any, there's probably a hawk in the area. There are a lot of hawks in the neighborhood. It's not easy to photograph, especially in flight. Lucky to catch this one. Covered bridge picture. This is Glen Junction, New Hampshire. Obviously, it's fall of the year. Grew up in Indiana, which has some pretty good fall foliage, especially in the southern part of the state. I have to admit, New England's better. It really is. Southern Indiana is great for fall foliage. New England's better. It's also better than around here, which is not bad. It's great last year, not so much this year. So we got fall foliage, a nice red covered bridge, a white birch tree. I think it's an interesting composition. This is a picture of the Milky Way. Come on. It was taken on the north end of Hemlock Lake, for those who know the area. One of the darkest places I can find. Hemlock Lake has no development on its shores. It is owned by the city of Rochester. It is the water supply for the city of Rochester. And with no development, there is very little light there. So it's a great place to, on a clear night, to go take Milky Way photos. A little bit of light from the village of Springwater, about 15 miles away. And for those of you who have not had the pleasure, you probably know that you never actually see this view with the naked eye. On a really dark night, the Milky Way is clear. You can see where it is, but you don't actually see these bright colors. You need a long time exposure to really gather in the light to see all these details. So that's what I do. Usually 30-second exposures, often take a number of 30-second exposures and stack them together to get more detail. One of my better Milky Way photos. It's actually on the 4th of July. I refer to it as natural fireworks. It might actually have been on the 5th, but it may have been past midnight. I'm going to enlarge this one. It's a panoramic photo. High Falls in Rochester. The Genesee River flows through Rochester. 3 major waterfalls, especially the High Falls and the Lower Falls, are worth visiting. This is High Falls at sunset. You got sunset. You also have floodlights on the falls. Got an Amtrak train going by. The waterfall is the reason Rochester is here. The waterfall powered a number of mills back in the 19th century when Rochester was known as the Flour, Flour city. They later became the Flower city, but that's another story. This is Kodak office building, the tower there. For fans of Genesee beer, this is their brewery that's been there for quite a while. I mentioned the Amtrak train. This trestle was here in Lincoln's day. Lincoln, in fact, traveled along this trestle and stopped and gave a speech on his way to Washington. His funeral train also traveled along the same course. I've taken lots of pictures of the High Falls, and this is probably my favorite. Come on, there we go. Keelmar Abbey in Ireland, not far from Galway. It's a stunning building. It was built as a castle for, actually I'm not sure who. Then it became a home for a Benedictine order of nuns for the past 100 years. They do have tours of the interior. I got there too late and missed the tour. Next time I'll make sure I see the inside, but the outside and the setting is stunning. Come on. Another covered bridge. This one closer to where I grew up. This is Bridgeton, Indiana. It's in Park County, which claims the title of covered bridge capital of the nation. I think they have something like 34 covered bridges in the county. And it is a tourist attraction. This bridge, in fact, burned down in an arson fire roughly 15 years ago. And the little town of Bridgeton needed the bridge there for the Covered Bridge Festival. They had to have something to bring in the visitors. So they rebuilt it. You can see here, there is a modern highway bridge back here for the traffic, but you got to keep those covered bridges going. This also has a dam and a mill, which, for what it's worth, which is not much, was briefly owned by a distant relative of mine. It was a long time ago. I've always been enamored with water power. Someday I wouldn't mind living in a place where I could have a water powered generator. Moving on to Hawaii, the island of Kauai. This is Waialua Falls. Double waterfall here. It's easy to get to the overlook. I'm told it's possible to get down to the stream below, but there are all sorts of warning signs. Apparently it's dangerous enough that they convinced me it was probably not a safe trip to take. For people who are as old as I am, you might remember this, a brief clip of this waterfall was featured on the television show Fantasy Island. If you're not as old as I am, it doesn't matter because the show is eminently forgettable. How many sales do we miss because this thing is so slow? I'm really not sure. I bring this up to the people that run it on a regular basis. I'll enlarge this one. In September, we visited Hocking Hills State Park in Ohio. Fascinating place. Sandstone gorges, lots of waterfalls, lots of overhangs. They refer to this as a cave. It's not like the limestone caves that I remember exploring when I was younger in southern Indiana. You don't have hundreds of yards and sometimes miles of passageways. This is just basically an overhanging cliff, so that you've got, in this case, which is a big one, maybe 100 feet of shelter. So this is obviously a great place. You're close to water, sheltered from the rain. What more could you ask for in terms of a place to live? Well, that's enough pictures for the moment. I want to show you some of the options for getting prints. Got 4 different kinds of paper. There are 2 photographic papers. There's Fuji matte photo paper and Luster photo paper, which for my Kodak friends here in Rochester, this is Kodak's paper. And we have 2 fine art papers. And these, in this case, the images are printed with inkjet. Inkjet these days does a great job. Colors are brighter than what you get with photographic prints, and they last just as long, if not sometimes longer. So it is a very fine option. You can also get metal prints, wooden prints, canvas prints, acrylic prints. It's not available for this particular. It's the dimensions of this that don't qualify. There's something else called exposure, spelled with an X. Then you can get coasters, and a lot of merchandise items, greeting cards, hoodies, t-shirts, tank tops, tote bags, throw pillows, phone cases, mugs, wall calendars, puzzles, kiss cut stickers. These are like 1.5 by 2.5 inches, roughly. And for Christmas ornaments, porcelain ornaments, metal ornaments, and different kind of, they're magnets and then metal magnets, acrylic trays and yoga mats, all sorts of different options. And for conventional prints, you've got, I mentioned 4 different types of paper, and then other different things that they can be printed on. For paper prints, you have the option of getting them framed and matted, and so prints can be obtained for as low as $1.97 and as high, if this is like a 69 by 46 inch print, with 3-inch mat and a high quality pewter frame, around $2,300. So the merchandise is on the lower end of this range. So that's probably entry level. So let me stop sharing for a moment, and I want to show you some examples of some of these. I mentioned paper prints, very simple. Everybody's familiar with paper prints. Blue Angels, practicing in Pensacola, Florida, years ago. And you can use the prints as is. If you want to frame them, it's best to get them mounted. I use a mounting board that has a styrofoam core. It's fairly rigid. It has a cover you peel off, and there's an adhesive side below it, and you stick the prints onto that. I should also say it takes a little bit of practice to learn how to do it right. To do it carefully, you gotta start with one corner and then gradually smooth it out carefully. Take more time than I'm taking, and get the whole thing stuck down here. You can probably hear the doorbell and probably hear the dog barking, so I'm going to ignore it. So the other trick is to, if you're using this approach, do it yourself, cut the mounting board bigger than the print, so that when, not if, but when you get your print slightly cockeyed, you can smooth it out without shifting it, which will cause bubbles. I could show you examples of those too. And then trim the mounting board square with the edges of the print. So DIY is always an option. Now, once you have something mounted, of course, you can put it in a frame. There are many frames available from the website. Sometimes I do it myself and buy a frame from Target. This is standard size, 11 by 14 mat on a 16 by 20 frame. That's my business card is there because this was for sale at a craft fair recently. I mentioned some of the other options. I like metal prints. The print is, the image is printed on a sheet of aluminum. There's a backing place to hang it on the wall. It stands off from the wall. It does not need a frame. And there are a couple examples behind me. This is another metal print. Did not need framing. This is also a metal print. My wife thought it would really could use a frame just for the looks of it. So we used a custom frame shop and got a frame. And it's not uncommon to spend more on the frame than you spend on the picture. Now, there are lots of framing options on the website, but if you want color coordinated mats and double matting and a custom frame, go to your local frame shop. These are metal prints. This is the Lower Falls, the Genesee in Letchworth, as opposed to the Lower Falls of the Genesee in Rochester. A metal print, this is a large one, that's 24 by 30 inches. And then there's another Milky Way photo, another metal print. Some other prints. Acrylic prints are becoming popular. You take the print and laminate it on the back of a sheet of acrylic material. It has hanging hardware on the back. It does not need a frame. And since the print is laminated to the acrylic, there's no internal reflection, and you get the most vibrant bright colors of any kind of picture reflection print system that I can imagine that I've ever seen. Something to provide a little warmer feel. A print on wood. Has a matte finish on it. This is printed on a piece of high quality plywood. And it has a hanger in the back. It also has a hole where you can stick a dowel rod where it will stand up on its own on a horizontal surface. Then you can also get canvas prints. These are literally printed on a piece of canvas, and then the canvas is wrapped on a wooden frame. So you lose a little bit of the image here. Got a hanger in the back, so this can be hung on the wall. It doesn't need a frame. You could easily put it in a frame if you so desire. Now, I mentioned something called exposure. This is a new approach that is only available in certain sizes at this point. But for, and this is the 16 by 24 is the smallest size available. I forget what the large size is. But the print is printed on a thin sheet of mylar. And there is stretching and hanging hardware on the back side of it. There's a little bracket attached to the mylar in 4 places, and the bar keeps it taut. So you have a nice flat print. This, if you want large sizes, one of the sizes that's available, this is lower cost than, say, the acrylic or the metal. And it's also a very effective display piece. And I don't know whether you can see it or not, but this is here temporarily because there is a crease running down the center of the picture. The fulfillment lab that we're using, top notch, but like a lot of places, they're having a little trouble keeping some trained employees, and somebody folded the mylar before they rolled it up. That's not what you want to do. And there's a crease there, and it's been stretched on the stretchers for several days now. That crease isn't going away. So the lab sometimes makes mistakes. I gotta say, customer service is great. They always make good on it. You don't have to return things in most cases. If you don't like your print, tell them about it, tell them what was wrong, and they will get you a new one. And they usually do it fairly quickly. So some of the other items. Get a mug. This mug has a picture of the Nepali coast of Kauai on here. One of the most beautiful pieces of landscape I've ever been to. This mug has also been used pretty much daily for several months. Absolutely no sign of wear or chipping, or anything. I mean, the image is very durable. I do not have examples of all of the merchandise items, but I've got another one. An acrylic tray. It's a waterproof tray with a picture inserted in the back. And actually, this is, the print is actually put in between 2 pieces of plexiglass. You can take this print out and put in a new one if you got tired of this one. This particular one is was taken in the gardens outside of Lismore Castle in Ireland. I always like the bold colors of the flower as well as the insect on it. And really getting down to the lower end, phone cases and printed with pictures. And you can tell this is one of my favorite pictures. Let's dismiss some of these messages. You know, if you my desktop picture is the same picture of Yosemite Falls. So I got Yosemite Falls on the back of my phone now as well. So that's some of the options. Let's see. At this point, I'm going to go back to sharing a screen. Share. Okay. So we're going to go back to okay. Let's say we like this print, this image, and we wanted to print. Lots and lots of variations. And you can see there's medium, there's size and styles. And if you pick framing, there will be a fourth one that will pop up that for framing. My suggestion in navigating this is make a selection. You could hit the next number, but the one thing that always hit the continue button. Sometimes it's easy to get confused about which one you click first. Make a selection, then continue. It would be my suggestion. So in this case, let's say we want a framed print. And this is Rochester, and there are a lot of Kodak employees. So we're going to put this on luster paper, which is a Kodak product. Obviously, you can make your choices. So then we hit continue. Okay, what size do we want? Well, this is an odd-shaped photo. It was a panorama. It's a collection of a number of photos that were stitched together. So 20 by 11 maybe is a good size. Although, while we're talking about size, play that. I'll get to that in a minute. So we picked a size. Now we hit, and you can see it goes all the way up to 92 by 50. So you can make some very large prints. Now the styles. We can get just the print, or we can get it matted, 1, 2, or 3 inch matte, or pardon me, or 4 inch, or we can get it printed on rigid material. This is similar to the mounting board. This is using styrene, either white or black. A gator foam is closer to what I was using. And you can get a gator foam mount, a little block to stand that off to the side to have an unframed print. Let's say we want a framed print. So click that. And you see the number 4 frame comes up. But again, I'll say, make the choice, hit continue. And now we have lots of framing options. And you can see there are three screens of multiple framing options. Different types of wood, different matte options. So I like walnut, and I want a matted print. So let's check a box walnut wood print with a 3 inch matte. Okay, that's about what it looks like. Now at this point, I started to get into this earlier. There are a couple ways of previewing this. Now this live preview, augmented reality, I can't do it for you. This is something you're going to have to try out on your own. You need to download an app to your smartphone, and your smartphone will show the image of whatever room in your house you might want a photo. And then the app will superimpose an image of whatever print you selected. What I can show you is the wall preview. Here is a standard size couch in a more or less standard room, and it's possible to change the size of the couch, and you can also change the color of the wall. And if we had more than one print, this would probably be fine. This one is looking a little small. So how about if we go 22, that's only a tiny bit larger, 24 by 13. That's getting closer. I mentioned the really large one, like 92 by 50, whatever it was. Those you can't get in these frames. This is as big as you can get frames. But anyway, you can go, well, what if you want to look at smaller ones? What would a 9 by 5 print look like? Okay, that's fine. You might want to have more than one print if you're going with that size. But where were we? We had originally it was 19 by 10. This is a way you can judge what size you really want. And really try out the augmented reality with your phone and look at it in your room. That's really going to be the key. So that's the, I've gone through the website I could show a bunch more pictures. I'm going to stop sharing here and go through just a couple other issues. I mentioned on the notice I sent out that there would be a notice of a discount. A special discount just for this show. You need the code Ron's Show 30. It's RONSSHOW 30. No spaces. And I don't think it matters whether it's uppercase or lowercase, but RONSSHOW 30. If you have this code, you enter that when you check out and you will get a discount up to 30%. The way it works, if you buy one item, it's a 5% discount. If you buy 2 items, it's 10%. 3 items is 15% on up. If you buy 6 items or more, it's a 30% discount on not just the 6th item, but on all the items in your cart. Some other options. A lot of you, if you are first-time buyers, probably already have a coupon for a 20% discount. That's across the board. So that might be a better choice. This particular Ron Show 30 is good from now until midnight on Sunday. So it's a short-term thing. The 20% should be available until you use it for the first time. If you would like news of future discounts, and something tells me that later in November, there may be some more discounts popping up. It would help if you subscribe to the mailing list. And the easy way to do that, if you haven't already, is go to my website. It's RAndrewsPhotos.com. It's RANDREWS photos.com. No spaces or punctuation, and case doesn't matter in this case. Go to the website, and the first thing that will pop up is a screen that says enter your email and get a 20% discount on your first purchase. That's the trade. You get a discount for providing your email, and then I will send a newsletter. Usually it's about once a week. This past week, it's been more frequent as I've been posting reminders for these gallery shows. So I'm hoping more people will be interested in that. And in general, I enjoy talking about photography. I enjoy talking about my photography. I enjoy talking about other people's photography. I would really like to hear what kind of photography other people like. I'm always up for a one-on-one discussion. My email and phone number is available online. You can contact me. We can arrange a one-on-one discussion. It can be phone, FaceTime, Zoom is handy if we want to share screens and show things like that. Um, you don't have to be ready to purchase something in order to schedule something. I'll be happy to just talk about photography. And we can review some of my stuff. We're going to review some of your stuff and talk about it. I learned when I talk to other people about photography, so it's worthwhile for me. Plus, I enjoy it. So, I have covered my agenda list. Two other prints I happen to have here. This is a print. It's been mounted on the foam board. This is the Athenaeum Hotel at Chautauqua Institution. Chautauqua is a wonderful place. It is, it's hard to explain. You have to experience it in order to understand it. But this is straight out of the 19th century. A lot of Victorian cottages that are still there and are rented out in the summertime, and lots of programs. Music, theater, it's on the lake with fishing, boating, swimming. Great place to spend vacation in the summer. And this hotel, it was wired for electricity by Thomas Edison, literally. Another picture I'll show, just because I like it. I enjoy sports photography. I still do it. Commercially, it doesn't really fly because I have the rights to publish this as a news event. I do not have model releases, so I can't sell these photos. So you won't find them on RAndrewsPhotosGalleryShow. You will find them on my other website, which is mentioned in some of the newsletters. This is something I did at a local junior college. If you haven't caught on yet, this is one player 4 times. He's going up for a slam dunk, and I was shooting a sequence of photos, and I put them all together into one. The players love this to get a photo of themselves doing this. I usually provide files, the image files for them. They can print them out on their local printer or however they want to do it. Anyway, I have fun with that. One more thing. This has nothing to do with my website, but this was a project I did last year. If you look between the steps on this side, that's Rainbow Falls at the Watkins Glen State Park. And if you look at it from just the right angle and suspend disbelief a little bit, it almost looks like the stairs are floating above the gorge at Watkins Glen, and the waterfall is back behind you. I had fun with this project. This is not something you can order on the website. If you would like to do this at your home, there are a variety of ways it can be done. If you want to do it and want some help, give me a call. We'll talk about it. So that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed this. Feedback of any kind, positive or negative or anywhere in between, is always appreciated. Thanks a lot.